It's a wedding day. Prince Charles takes a wife this morning, Lady Diana Spencer, in a lavish London setting. We have two reports. First, CBS News correspondent Martha Teichner at Buckingham Palace.
The crowd at Buckingham Palace is already cheering and yelling, hip, hip, hooray, even though the Queen won't leave the palace with her procession for another 20 minutes. The household cavalry, the guardsmen on their black horses with their red and black tunics and gold helmets with red and white plumes, have all assembled in the courtyard of the palace. So have the coaches, with the led by brown or white horses with silver-plated manes. It's very exciting here. And the people are ready for a huge occasion. And this morning they've cheered anything, even Canada geese flying overhead. Now to George Herman at St. Paul.
St. Paul's Cathedral is pretty well filled up with wedding guests by now and clergy. So far, most of the guests have arrived in cars across the tiny little courtyard from the cathedral steps. The broad path of sand or tan bark has been laid down right to the steps for the horses and carriages of the wedding party. The buildings around St. Paul are pretty well decorated with flags of England, Scotland, Wales, and, of course, the United Kingdom. The dress for the guests, of course, is formal, morning coats and pearl gray or black top hats. For the crowd here in front of me, waving their periscopes and cheering every arrival, it's anything goes, T-shirts, blue jeans, anything at all. George Herman, CBS News, London.
Stay tuned to this CBS station for continuing coverage of the royal wedding.
Mutual News. Britain's Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer became man and wife this morning in a ceremony in glittering splendor and majesty at St. Paul's Cathedral in London. Reverend Robert Runcie, the Archbishop of Canterbury, performed the ceremony, after which he made this statement.
Here is the stuff of which fairy tales are made. The prince and princess on their wedding day.
The Archbishop of Canterbury. The British royal wedding ends shortly at St. Paul's Cathedral, with the participants then to head back to Buckingham Palace for a wedding breakfast to be attended by foreign dignitaries. Bride and groom then depart for their honeymoon later this morning. Hundreds of thousands have lined the procession route in London to get a glimpse of Prince Charles and his new wife, Lady Diana. This is news for Mutual Radio. Robert Burns reporting.